Welcome to Baby Boomer Tales. My name's Jim. You can find us at babyboomertales.com. There are links once you've arrived at our webpage where you can hear our podcast on many venues, including YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and more. There's also pictures of me when I was just a little whipper on my donkey Jenny, or me sitting in my pickup truck a couple years ago. Pictures of that great country I talk about in the north central Colorado Rocky Mountains, and here at my home in northeastern Kansas. Thank you for riding along today. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. I woke up this morning, well actually during the night last night in my sleep, I woke up itching, started scratching. I'm recording this on a Saturday. Thursday I mowed and the wind was blowing probably over 20 miles an hour. And I got grass all over me. One deal up and down my driveway on the fence side, I hadn't mowed it for a few weeks and it was quite long. And I was mowing where the grass spit out on my right and the wind was coming right at that. And it just blew grass all over me. And I fought it all day mowing. I mowed for about 3 hours, I guess. Well, I must have got into some poison ivy somewhere mowing. And I have itchies on my right arm, on my left arm by where my elbow is, but it's on the underside, the side of your arm that's very tender. That's the worst place to get poison ivy. The rest of it I can handle pretty well. And then on the back of my neck, I had grass back there too, you know. So I took a calamine lotion bath today. Not a real bath. I just put a bunch on me. Slathered it on. Yes, sir, I'm all pink. Before all that itching started, though, yesterday we went to lunch with our good friends Mark and Diana. Hadn't seen them in over a year. That's what happens when you get older. All of a sudden you don't see your friends as much. We don't go to the same places, and you know what I mean? They have their life and grandkids, and we have our life and grandkids, and we live out here in the middle of nowhere, and they live up in town. When I say town, I mean the metropolitan area, you know, Kansas City. Anyway, it was a fun time. Got to catch up. But the one thing, my hearing is getting so bad, I really couldn't tell what anybody was saying. I've got this app on my phone now, and it transcribes everything, right? But it picks up voices like in the table next to us, and the waitress, and plus Mark and Diana and Kim all talking, and me going, what, huh? And, you know. So I gave that one up quickly. It's kind of a good tool. I use it now when I'm on the phone. It just writes it out. I had an app for my phone that did that, but I couldn't get it to jive with my phone where it would not take certain calls. My telephone, is it called a telephone anymore? I think it's phone. It's set so I just get the calls of people that are on my contacts list. So if you're not on my contacts list and you want to talk with me, leave me a voicemail and I'll look at it and see if you're on the up and up, or you're trying to tell me that I've won the lottery or I am now approved for $300,000 business loan or something like that. I get those all the time, you know, all the time. Anyway, that kind of brings me to this, though, is technology. I got this idea that I was going to tell you some of the things about technology that drive me crazy. And my phone screening my calls is not one of them. You know, it kicks the spam out. And so I really do like today's phones. But let me get this started with what gave me this idea. I have this old printer. It's an inkjet color printer, and I loved it. And I would use, a thing of ink probably monthly. It got quite expensive. And the printer back in those days, when I first got it, was not cheap anymore. They'll about give you the printer because they know you're going to sell you the ink. But anymore, I have a laser printer, and that's what I use. Very seldom I need to print a document in color. But I use this printer for the scanner. It's got a scanner bed on it. And I needed to scan a document the other day to send to somebody. And I opened it, and let me give you a little backstory here. When that printer was new, I just push a little button to scan and just scan it, and then ask me where I wanted to put it on my computer. Well, a few years ago, it started saying, well, you can't push the button now. I try to push the button. You have to go into your computer and do it. And that was not difficult. I just did my control panel and found the printer and then just hit scan. And then about 2 years ago, I couldn't just do that. I had to go through everything and open their app and all that on the computer and eventually get there and scan it. And it took several minutes to get to where I was going with it. Well, I went to do that the other day, and all of a sudden it wouldn't let me. I ended up having to join their little club, which didn't cost me anything, but come on, I've had this printer. This printer is a dinosaur. It's so old, but it does well, and it does what I need it to do, and I'm not going to get another printer just to scan something or to print a color picture of something. So I probably fooled with it for an hour, and then when I hit scan, it took about 3 or 4 minutes for it to go through all of its little process to scan instead of just scan and where do you want to put this on your computer? And it got me thinking, this technology, as wonderful as it is, parts of it are driving me crazy. I got a new phone here, within the year. My old phone I determined was 8 years old, which doesn't sound old to me, but it was old for a cell phone, and it wasn't doing anything. I couldn't even hardly charge it. I have to hold the charger cable onto it and stuff. So I got this new phone, and it's nice and all that. But, I talk about me being hard of hearing anymore, and it's got all these controls because they don't want me to blow my ears out. That's too late. I want to turn it up, and it will only allow me so much. So I Google all the time looking for new ways to get just a little bit more sound out of it. And when I say sound out of it, I mean with like headphones or earbuds. My hearing aid app can turn stuff up, but like at night when I'm reading a book, and I read a book, an audio book at night, so I need to have that sound up. It's just driving me crazy. I don't care. Let me turn the volume up where I want to. Plus, it gives me all these warnings. You're at full volume. Turn it down. No, don't tell me what to do. Something else. The internet provider. When we first moved out the country, we had satellite TV. There was no cable companies around, too far. We also had satellite internet. And it was so archaic that if I downloaded a movie or something, I used all my available download for the month. Well, eventually we got DSL because there was a phone line running in front of our property. And when we first moved here, we dug a little trench, ran a phone line down here for landlines. So we could get DSL through that old phone line. And that was 100% better than what we had. And we stopped the satellite TV, obviously stopped the satellite internet, and did everything with DSL. But it was pretty slow compared to if we went to the city and we were at some friend's house and how fast theirs was and all that. Well, it got so they had no internet, and I'd get on their app or on their website. I couldn't do the website on my computer because the internet was down, but through my phone, their app and stuff. And this last time, I've just gotten so fed up, and there was really nothing we could do about it because we were too far out there. But we found a service through our phone company, and what drove me to this was my old DSL company. I texted them and they said, no, there's no outages. You need to get a new modem. We'll send you one. Well, we tried that once before and it was about the size of my desk. I don't want that. So I sent it back. And while I was waiting for it, the internet magically came back on. Well, this time I finally ordered a modem through my phone company and I went and got it that day, and that's been great. Well, while I was out on the road getting it, which took me probably an hour and a half to drive there, get it, and come back, the internet magically came on again. So anyway, I've unplugged that old modem and setting up this new modem. And it is amazing all the stuff I had to go through. I had to change all my cameras, all my TVs, all my phones and computers. And I have this thing that monitors the electricity through the house. Had to set that all up. With my cameras, I had to actually crawl up on ladders and bring them down and try to set them up in front of this thing so it could read all the new things it had to read. Ay, 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 ay. Anyway, we got it going. It's far superior, a lot faster. If the electricity's on, we've got internet, so that's good. I've lately been overwhelmed by technology. You could probably tell that by the way I started this podcast. It's just driving me nuts. And I don't know why I'm being overwhelmed. I work online, selling stuff, doing podcasts, having my webpage and all that, which I built. It didn't intimidate me whatsoever, building my webpage. My wife keeps me on track, telling me I'm not getting too old to deal with technology, that's just my imagination. Just take one step at a time, Jim, like you've always done. What is wrong with you? Well, she's right. She's right. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in my little head that all of a sudden all this crazy technology that I'm fighting is getting my goat. You can't have my goat. That's my goat. I want to talk to you for a couple seconds about technology and somebody that helps me a lot. Her name is Kim Komando, Komando. You can watch her podcast. I think she has a YouTube channel. What I do with her is I have her email. It's a daily email. And there's a section in it called 3-Second Tech Genius. And it is wonderful. Gives you little hints and everything. Anyway, she gives a bunch of wonderful things that are going on in technology. She really tells you about all the new scams out there. You know, the scammers used to just try to call you on the phone and all that stuff. Well, it's in technology now. You want to be very, very careful with these scammers. Don't react to anything they say. They're getting so good at it that they'll have the IRS logo and stuff that looks real and threaten to throw you in jail. If they want you to overreact, don't overreact. Part of this stuff that is driving me nuts. What about AI? You know, these videos look very real anymore. They used to say seeing is believing, but that is not the case anymore. We're in the 21st century. Just because you see it, don't believe it. Don't believe it. I don't do TikTok. I don't do Instagram. I don't get it. I go on Instagram to see some grandkids stuff, but that's it. I don't ever post on either one of those. Although I have a little thing I could do on TikTok. I'd probably become, get more than 3 followers. Possibly. I do my library online. I never go to the library anymore, but I do everything digitally. I listen to audiobooks, which I used to have to go to the library and get a cassette of the audiobook and play it. When it's done, I take it back to the library and check out another one. Well, one day they did away with cassettes, and I got all upset, and they replaced it all with DVDs. So I had to go down to a store and have them put in a DVD player in my pickup, because I just had a cassette player back then to listen to my books. Well, now everything is downloadable. It's actually far superior. It is. Another thing that drives me crazy about technology is on my TV and I have to type in my password. Have you ever tried that with your remote for your TV? It takes forever. It's terrible. They ought to come up with something better. My TV provider, which, it's all downloadable, streaming, all that stuff, it keeps saying that I live somewhere else. Now, not everywhere, not all the time, just sometimes. Till I got used to it, they'd say, well, you're not home. How long you plan on being gone? Well, none of your business. Well, do you now live in somewhere in Arkansas or somewhere in Florida or somewhere in Maine? No, I don't live there. I don't even there. And some of these internet providers switch that stuff up and it reads it and thinks you're gone. Well, I always ignore that unless they change the channels on me. And all of a sudden, I'm watching channel 13 from Cold Bay, Minnesota or something. I don't even know where Cold Bay, Minnesota is. Leave me alone. I want the Kansas City channels. Ay. So every once in a while I have to get on my phone. For some reason they trust my phone, but they don't trust my TV or my computer. The computer's the worst. I get on that to watch something, like Jeopardy. If you miss a day or something right now, the World Cup's going on, so my local TV station's not playing Jeopardy during the day. They're playing soccer. So I just go on YouTube and watch it from the day before, and it's really nice. I have an ad blocker, so no commercials. But it says, how long you plan on living in Tennessee? I do not live in Tennessee. I'm not even close to Tennessee. I haven't been to Tennessee in years. Okay, let me get off of this because I don't think this is what I intended it to be. Closed captioning, as far as AI goes, I know that's a very archaic form of AI, but closed captioning, I like that. I do. I've got a new app on my phone. It's not new. I've had it for a while. It's called Magnifier. It's a magnifying glass. It beats magnifying glasses all to pieces. All you have to do is go to the App Store and say Magnifier. It may already be on your phone, though. So try that. You might like that. I see where old people take pictures of something and try to blow up the picture. This works better. It does. It works much better. And one great thing about technology is pictures. I take a picture or somebody takes a picture, like I've been going to some high school graduations the last couple of years, grandkids, and I just ask people, send me all the pictures you took, and they just do, and then I download them to Facebook. I get on my phone and I just go on Facebook and click it and put them all on Facebook. Then I go from Facebook on my computer, and each picture I say save as, and I can put it on my computer on the hard drive, right? I have them all sorted out. Now they're on my hard drive, and I have on my computer a slideshow as the screensaver of just my pictures. And every 30 seconds or something, it shows a different picture. Well, I've taken that a step further, and on my wallpaper for my computer, it shows pictures, and it changes about every 30 seconds also. And it kind of blows it up so it does the whole screen of my monitor. It's very nice. It beats the old photo album and sitting there with grandma. Now, nothing can beat sitting there with grandma. Don't get me wrong. Sitting with someone you love, looking at pictures, is priceless. Always be kind. You know that time slips by in just a blink of an eye. So cherish every moment of this life. My plan is to be back next Wednesday and not talk about computers or technology. It's Jim signing off. Peace out.